Most people give up too soon. They make dua for success but cannot wait for the answer. They open a shop today and expect to be rich by tomorrow. The moment life becomes slow, painful, or quiet, they think Allah has forgotten them. They look at others moving faster, lose hope, and walk away right before their breakthrough. But life has one strange rule. The people who stay patient in the darkness are almost always the ones who find the light. My name is Yusuf, and this is a story about an old broken boat that taught an entire village the true meaning of patience. In a small village where the air always smelled like salt and struggle, there lived a poor fisherman named Yusuf. He was not powerful, not popular, not young anymore. He had a small hut near the shore, a worn-out fishing net, and one old wooden boat named Amal, which means hope. Amal was not fast like the newer boats in the village. She leaked a little from one side. Her wood had turned dark from years under the sun. And every time Yusuf sailed out, the other fishermen would laugh from their shiny boats. "Why do you still take that floating piece of wood out to sea?" But Yusuf always smiled and replied, "Old does not mean finished." Every morning before Fajr, while the sky was still dark, Yusuf would quietly patch Amal's small leaks, load his net, and sail out alone. The other fishermen used fast motorboats to rush toward the popular fishing spots near the main reef. They always caught more fish in the beginning. They always returned louder, prouder. Yusuf rowed slowly. He earned little. Some mornings the net came up almost empty. Some nights there was barely enough to eat. One evening, Yusuf sat on the shore beside Amal watching the sun fall into the sea and whispered, "I wake up before everyone. I work harder, but nothing changes." He rubbed his hand on Amal gently and said, "You've never left me, even when everyone else did." The next morning he decided to try something new. Instead of following the other fishermen toward the crowded main reef, he remembered something his father once told him. "The fish that no one chases is the fish that grows the largest." He sailed in the opposite direction, toward the shallow waters that everyone avoided. The path was narrow, slow, and full of roots poking through the water. The other fishermen saw him and shouted across the water, "You're going the wrong way, old man. There's nothing in those shallow waters." Yusuf didn't answer. He just kept rowing. But when he lowered his net into the quiet mangrove water, it came up full. Not with the common fish everyone sold, but with a rare type of reef fish that restaurants in the city paid 3 times the normal price for. These fish bred in the shallow mangroves, and only a patient fisherman as Yusuf could ever find them. For the first time in years, Yusuf returned home with real money. Weeks passed. Yusuf said nothing to anyone. He quietly kept sailing the slow mangrove path every morning. He learned the tides, the seasons, and the secret rhythms of those waters that no one else bothered to understand. Meanwhile, the fishermen at the main reef started struggling. Too many boats, not enough fish. Competition turned into arguments. Prices dropped. Many came home with nothing, but Yusuf came home with enough, quietly, consistently, every single day. Then one afternoon, a well-dressed buyer from the city came to the village looking for a reliable supplier of premium fish for his restaurant chain. He walked through the loud, chaotic market and found nobody he could trust as his supplier. Then someone pointed him toward a quiet corner where Yusuf was carefully cleaning fish beside an old wooden boat. The buyer watched Yusuf work. He noticed how focused he was, every fish handled with care. The buyer went to Yusuf and asked, "Do you take pride in what you do?" Yusuf looked up and smiled. "I learned that from the sea. She doesn't hurry for anyone." The buyer laughed. "I need someone like you, someone honest with his work. I want to buy some premium fish from you, every week, guaranteed price." Yusuf went speechless for a moment. That one conversation changed everything for him. Over the next few years, Yusuf slowly saved enough to repair his hut, buy better equipment, and even hire 2 young men from the village to help him. But every single morning he still sailed out on Amal, the old wooden boat, before anyone else was awake. One morning, a man named Hamza asked Yusuf, "Why do you still use this old boat? You can afford a new one now." Yusuf ran his hand along Amal's worn wood and smiled. "Because she taught me something no new boat ever could." Everyone in this village wanted speed. They bought fast boats, chased crowded reefs, and fought over the same water. But Amal couldn't go fast. She forced me to go slow. And because I went slow, I found something no one else was looking for. The slow path took me somewhere the fast path never could. Then one year, a powerful storm tore through the coast. Waves destroyed the main reef. The motorboats that had rushed through those waters for years had weakened the coral, and when the storm hit, the reef collapsed. The main fishing site was full of dirt now. The village fell into panic. But the mangrove waters Yusuf had quietly tended for years were protected by trees, untouched by the storm. Because Yusuf had never overfished them, never rushed them, they were still full. Now the entire village came to Yusuf, the same people who had laughed at his old boat. Years later, Amal finally gave way. The old boat, after decades of faithful service, cracked beyond repair during a gentle morning tide. As if she had simply chosen her moment to rest. Yusuf did not throw her away. He placed her on a small hill overlooking the mangrove waters. He planted a small tree inside her, and every year that tree grew taller, blooming above the boat that had carried his dreams when no one believed in him. People from the village would walk up that hill and sit beneath the tree, and at the base of the old boat, Yusuf had carved a simple line into the wood. The fastest boats race, the patient ones arrive. That is the lesson. Patience is not waiting while doing nothing. Patience is rowing every morning even when the net comes up empty. It is choosing the harder, slower path when everyone else laughs. It is trusting that what you are building quietly is more powerful than what others see. Most people destroy their future because they cannot sit with temporary silence. They need to see results now. They need proof before they continue. But a mangrove doesn't grow to protect a coastline in a week. A tree planted in an old broken boat doesn't bloom overnight. And sometimes, the most powerful journeys begin in the boat everyone told you to abandon. If your progress feels slow right now, don't stop rowing. What you are building in patience may be the very thing that saves you when the storm comes.